Hey everyone, welcome to Streetlight Babble here with me, Jake.
And me, Chris, or as some call me,
Lance Pizza Sloan.
sure. We are reviewing
The Lego My Eggo Movie.
the Lego We are reviewing the Lego Batman movie.
Starring Will Arnett and other people.
Zach Galifianakis.
And Rosario Dawson.
We are reviewing that. This is what we are reviewing.
That is not entirely untrue.
All right. So, for the first half, we're gonna make it all spoiler-free for you people who still care, and for people who don't or have seen it, it's gonna have some spoilers in the second half. But we'll warn you, so just don't worry. Just don't worry. Just sit back, relax, and listen to our voices soothe you away.
Yeah, when we get to the actual spoiler part, Chris will lick the camera so you know to turn it off. So, Chris, what did you think of the overall experience that is the Lego Batman movie?
So the Lego Batman movie is a movie somewhat of a spiritual successor to the Lego movie, in the same style at least, of stop motion Legos. Is that what it is? An animation?
Yeah, and they had a couple of tie-ins with the Lego movie itself also, and we'll touch on that when we get into our spoiler corner.
Mm-hmm.
But overall, tonally, I think, this is the first movie that Warner Brothers and DC has put out there within the last, I would say, probably 9 years that I've actually found myself enjoying all the way through.
I know. Hey, they had a concept for a funny, self-referential, self-mocking film that really worked. They went with their idea. They didn't want to have to change it like Suicide Squad. They didn't have to rewrite it. They didn't have to censor any part of it. It was just fine. And for what it was, I think it did a rather good job. Funny throughout the whole thing, which surprised me quite a bit.
Yeah, no, I think I definitely agree. I think tonally they did a really good job of keeping it lighthearted while still kind of harkening back to what the original source material was. And for a lot of you who've read the comics pretty much the 1970s and 1980s, Batman was kind of a hokey person.
Yeah, well, comics in general are kind of funny. I think
No, they are.
What we talked about beforehand was a lot of people think it was Deadpool, but personally for me, I think it was Guardians of the Galaxy that has sort of reintroduced the funny, absurdist comic movie.
The comedy.
The comic-iddy.
Exactly. The comic-iddy. Trademark.
Trademark. I'm trademarking that. We are. But I think it was just rather well done in that respect. It immediately just made fun of itself, made fun of Batman. It went away from this super serious, brooding man in tights and in a cape that we've gotten so bored with throughout the years. I mean, come on, how serious? Batman versus Superman. Saving Private Ryan was less serious than that movie. It was
Schindler's
ridiculous.
List was less serious than that movie.
The superhero genre, more DC itself, needed this refreshment of comedy.
Yes, they needed a breath of levity. And I think that's what they were trying to go for with Suicide Squad, but it just did not hit the mark at all.
It failed.
Exactly, which I think a lot of that could be attributed to the rewrites and whatnot. But no, I definitely think that this is a very well done movie. I've said this time and time again. I am a huge Will Arnett fan, and I realize I said that time and time again, and this is only our second episode that we've done.
They don't know that you've said that.
No.
They don't know.
They don't, but
Stop.
now you do.
But now you know he's a big huge dick for Will Arnett. He's a big bone. How can you not? He is an attractive man.
He's an attractive man, and he's an attractive man horse.
And he plays Batman.
Batman.
He plays Batman, and let's just say the ridiculousness of the Joker and Batman's relationship. That part I really loved. I like how they touched on just
the dichotomy.
Yeah, because everybody's been like, oh, there's this dichotomy of Joker embracing the world's madness and Batman just pushing it away, and they turned that into like a relationship struggle, like you would have with a preteen girlfriend, really, or something like that. It was just well done, like a romantic comedy way. They put a spin on it like that.
Yeah, and that's something we can kind of... It's kind of one of the main drivers of the plots. We'll touch a lot more of that in the spoiler section.
Everybody wants to have these pseudo-intellectual conversations about Batman and the Joker, and finally it's just funny now.
they get it.
They get it.
The Lego people get it. And not just that, but they get the whole idea of Batman's kind of rogues gallery. They get his quote-unquote family.
His family issues.
They get, like, how Gotham works. They just get all of the aspects of...
The ridiculous parts of Gotham, especially about how Batman doesn't really make sure the criminals are away. He just keeps them around just to keep himself entertained, really.
Exactly. One of my actually favorite YouTubers has a very good video called I Kind of Hate Batman, and his main point is Batman isn't a hero, he's just a rich guy with an affinity for bats who's playing out his insane fantasies, and he doesn't really do much to improve the lives of the civilians of Gotham. And this is really, really, really driven home in this movie, where he is just out for himself.
It's just wonderful. Now, tonally, it was really funny in the beginning, and then it just starts like slowing down, and then speeding back up, and then slowing down, speeding back up. Now, I don't think this is a bad thing, because when the tone is too slow, when it's too sloppily done, then I'm going to be looking at my watch the whole time. But no, I was still engaged because it
was a breath of fresh air.
It brought in an emotional aspect as the tone shifted, and that was one thing I really liked. And when the tone became more chaotic, I started thinking, like, what is this, a child playing with his toys? And I'm like, oh yeah, yes it is.
That's exactly what it is.
That's what it's supposed to be like. It reminded me of that old day when I had a little toy and I was like, oh, bird.
And then, you use that toy and you play with your other toys and you just escalate it, escalate it, and 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 escalate it, until it's this epic monstrosity.
Yes, epic monstrosity of repressed hatred from your childhood, and that is just what I love so much about this movie. Well, not so much, but yeah. I thought it was enjoyable. I thought it was rather fantastic. The ways it played on the Batman, on the Batman, what was it? Just the way, I don't know. What am I saying, Jake?
The lore.
The lore. That's the word I was looking for. The lore.
Yeah,
it played on the lore very well. It just seamlessly was able to make fun of itself, while actually, for you fans of other Warner Brothers products, given that marketing.
Yes, the marketing.
Well, you know.
Any non-spoiler negatives you can think of?
Well, sometimes the tonal shifts are a bit jarring. What was it you said with the Robin? You didn't like the Robin very much.
Yeah, I didn't exactly buy Michael Cera as Robin, and that's more of a personal thing as myself. I think the way that he portrays the character of Robin was just a little bit too young. I felt like I was watching an 8-year-old Robin instead of like a teenager.
I wasn't sure what age he was supposed to be. He was kind of like an 8-year-old one at one point, and then kind of a peppy teenager at another point. It was just kind of all over the place.
It was a hard read on how old he was supposed to actually be in that. But I mean, like I said, that's just that's one
Ralph
small.
Fiennes or Ralph Fiennes. I'm just gonna go with Fiennes because it sounds nice. Ralph Fiennes is the butler.
He was Alfred.
Alfred. The butler.
Alfred.
That was pretty fantastic. He had that nice soothing Alfred voice, the classy Brit who you always want to listen to every single day. You know, Master Wayne, I really think you should find yourself a nice wife and settle down and not kill yourself, Master Wayne.
But Alfred, I want to kill myself because I'm Batman.
Well, he doesn't actually say he wants to kill himself.
No, he doesn't. That was
it's just like a subtext. You're supposed to infer, hey, maybe this guy is not all there. Anyway, so all in all, I give it it's like a 7 or 8 out of 10.
Yeah, I'd say like a 7 out of 10, which doesn't sound that great, but I thoroughly enjoyed the movie.
Yeah, I thoroughly enjoyed how and also the style of the Legos, the stop motion. For me, in the Lego Movie, it took some getting used to. It took some, but there's a certain charm in it. I don't know. There's a certain everlasting charm. They're not just trying to update it with the new technology of the day, which will super date it way into the future. It's now.
It's almost. It's just, not exactly timeless, but it's almost timeless.
It's just it's just Legos. It's as he said, almost timeless, which I rather like about it. So. There you go. It seems like the Lego people are better at making DC movies than the DC people.
That's true. Now, ladies and gentlemen, it's time for that spoilers. Them spoilers is coming. I said lick the camera, not lick me. If you're going to do it, don't half-ass it.
I didn't want to do it.
A wise man once said, don't half-ass anything. That's me misquoting someone.
Whole-ass one thing.
Exactly.
Don't half-ass
two
something. Two things, kids. Whole-ass one thing, and we are going to whole-ass this. Now, time for the spoilers. What did you think? What did you think of the story?
I think it was good. I think they, like we touched on earlier, I think it was a really good idea of kind of bringing in the Phantom Zone and bringing in a lot of different villains that are across Warner Brothers
DC properties. Almost every villain in the Warner Brothers property is in this film. Godzilla, Sauron, Voldemort.
Voldemort has a huge part in this movie, and I was not expecting that.
And Voldemort's voice actor was in the movie. Voldemort's actor, Ralph Fiennes, was Alfred and not playing Voldemort, which was interesting. He is very upset by it, and I love it.
It's... Okay, so imagine this. Imagine you're the studio executive of Warner Brothers, and you're sitting in, you're watching this whole entire movie get voice recorded and whatnot, and you have Ralph Fiennes come in here and do the voice acting for Alfred, and then some other no-name person, I think was like Eric Izard or
something that sounded like Lizard.
He comes in and he does the voice of Voldemort, and just like the two of them just kind of like cross paths as they're going into the recording studio. I don't know. You had a missed opportunity there. You could have had the actual person who played Voldemort do the voice of Voldemort in your movie.
Which would have been pretty cool, and of course Sauron was pretty funny. Godzilla, King Kong. All these Warner Brothers villains are just there. It is just, you could just tell that's for the fans. You could tell that they're pandering to you, but I don't care because it's just too awesome. It's just too amazing.
It was just too amazing.
Just too amazing, ladies and gentlemen.
Yes. So we kind of touched a little bit earlier about how the family aspect of Batman kind of drives his motivation throughout this movie. So this movie is about the formation of the Bat family. You get Barbara Gordon as Batgirl, which, once again, DC is really, really driving that Barbara Gordon and Bruce Wayne romance.
They like to make Barbara Gordon and Bruce Wayne fuck now, which is pretty interesting to me. I rather like it. I don't know.
I mean, I don't mind it. I always envisioned Barbara Gordon as someone who was a lot younger than Bruce Wayne, and kind of someone that, she views as a father figure. That's
ageist. No. And ageism, to me, is one of the most accepted forms of
prejudice.
Prejudices right now, and I think you're just perpetuating that, and that hurts my feelings.
Well, I take pride in my prejudice.
You know what? He does. But anyway, the relationship between the Batman and the Joker, I really liked that. How they, as I said before, they turned that little dichotomy that everybody has these philosophical arguments about to just a regular relationship. Like, you won't say you hate me. Why don't you say you hate me?
Those are actual lines from the movie, by the way.
Yeah, those are like actual lines. Like, I'll say it. I hate you.
And you got Batman just watching famous romantic comedies because he has relationship issues. I've done that before.
I think he's watching, what was it, Tom Cruise? Was it Jerry Maguire or something
Jerry Maguire. Like the Joker infiltrates the Batcave and he just finds a bunch of romantic comedy DVDs. And he's just taunting Batman by saying, "Oh, what's this, Marley and Me? Who watches this?
Serendipity!" When I was younger, I had a small love for Serendipity. It's probably because Kate Beckinsale was so hot.
Yeah, she was
so hot.
She's aged okay.
She has aged okay.
But speaking of the Joker, Zach Galifianakis, I know we touched on it. He does a good job with the Joker. I think,
Pretty good job. Pretty good job.
you know, Jared Leto should be taking notes.
Jared Leto needs to be taking notes from everyone but himself, but it seems like he's the only one who can take notes on himself. It just... I mean, it was funny. It was the Joker. It was diabolical, had a silly voice. I mean, what else do you need? It's
And
just,
his plan, actually caused mayhem and destruction.
His plan actually caused mayhem and destruction.
And it
He
was
actually played a
caused
part.
exactly, and it was caused by kind of just chaos. It's like, oh, Batman doesn't hate me. Okay, I'll make Batman
Why
hate
don't you
me.
hate me? Why don't you look me in the eyes when you arrest me? Nah, that wasn't in the movie, but it would have been funny.
He just goes and he's like, "Where do you surrender?" And then he just boxes up all of Gotham's rogues gallery and
Yeah,
just
so the Joker, he does a little scheme in the beginning, and he's just like, I'm your best villain, and Batman's like, nah, man, I don't even like you. I just want to see other villains right now. And, of course,
it breaks his heart.
This upsets poor Joker's heart, and I don't like to see a sad Joker. I thought, ooh, it would add to his character, but make me cry a little bit right here,
right there.
right there, right on my sweater, made me cry. All the tears went right there. Right there for Joker.
Yeah, but
So he hatches a diabolical scheme. He hears about Superman in the Phantom Zone, where he locks Zod away, and he's gonna be like, I'm gonna free all of them, but first I'm gonna imprison myself. Oh.
and it's diabolical. It's an actual evil scheme.
It's an actual diabolical thing that you don't quite understand yet fully, which is what the Joker's supposed to be for me. It's just, this guy's gonna create chaos, and I don't know how he's going to do it. I have an idea, but how exactly is he going to do it?
And he tricks Batman into going along with this scheme. That's the biggest thing, is he basically, Batman eventually gets control over the portal to the Phantom Zone, and then the Joker's taunting him into sending him to the Phantom Zone.
He uses Batman's obsession with him to destroy him, and this is what the comics and these pretentious kind of art serious films have been trying to convey for years, but have been failing to. But a comedy movie somehow
manages to get it right.
To just get that right across to you, just simply and succinctly, so a child can understand it. Oh yeah, speaking of children, maybe we'll do this at the end. The Boss Baby previews I wanted to talk about.
We can talk about that in a minute. One thing I did want to touch on, and just watch out for Bane.
You want to watch out for Bane, do you?
Whoever did Bane's voice was just spot on.
We'll help you, Batman.
At first, the first couple of times you hear it, it almost sounds like a high prissy girl's voice, and then halfway through the movie, it just changes to the Tom Hardy Bane.
How are you doing?
It's the weirdest transition ever, but every single time Bane says something...
And they give all of Batman's ridiculous villains that have never had their time in the screenlight, they give them their time.
Freaking Calendar Man.
Calendar Man.
Condiment King.
Is Condiment King real?
Maybe.
I don't even know, but
maybe in a one-off issue.
In a one-off issue, maybe, but they give all these people their limelight, and it just kind of... I think that'd make a Batman fan happy, even for the ridiculous parody of their own comic. I think it would make a Batman fan pretty happy to see all of these villains just finally brought to the big screen, at least in one way.
Yeah. All right, well, Chris, we're kind of getting towards the end of it, so do you have any final thoughts?
Final thoughts? I liked it. Yeah. Also, they got all the villains to fight the other.
Oh yeah. That's kind of
that's kind of the big finale. Is Batman and all of his DC villains
minus the Joker
fight all of the evil Warner Brothers villains like Sauron and Voldemort, and it's just so insane, and it really just brings you back to childhood. It just taking these different toys from different products and just mashing them together like it ain't never been done before, and it's been done before, and it's been done in the Lego Batman movie. So, other than some tonal issues, other than Robin, it's a pretty good movie, at least for an animated movie. Not every joke hit with me, but I kind of liked it. What I wanted to touch on as well was, the shittiness of the previews.
We can talk about those in another video.
All right, we'll talk. Actually, we're gonna do another video right now. We're gonna talk about the shitty previews.
Yes. Real quick, I guess my final thoughts on the movie. Go see it. It's getting great reviews across the board.
If you like comic book movies and you just want to relax, just go see it.
Yeah, if you like comic book movies, if you want to watch a really great Batman satire, Batman parody, this is it. This is what you're gonna get.
It feels like a Batman satire without not feeling like a Batman film. It still just feels like a Batman film.
And you know what the best part about this movie was? Mm-hmm. Not having to pay for it.
We didn't pay for it.
Hey!